They say that when it rains, it pours. And it's always raining in this city.
Have a nice day, Mr. Capos.
I've enjoyed my time with Foreclosed, a sometimes stealthy third-person shooter / sometimes press button in order to hack a tank to exploder. I played using the free PS5 upgrade for the physical PS4 version, and paid $15 for my copy. The game is available on PlayStation 4, 5, Nintendo Switch, PC using Windows OS, Xbox One, Series X, Series S, and Stadia. In this interactive comic book set in a maybe not so distant cyberpunk future, you take control of Evan Kapnos, who has recently been stripped of access to the city blockchain. What does this mean to our plebish not even 21XX brains? Basically, Kapnos has been revoked of his privileges to live as a free man, thanks to the man. If not corrected soon, his identity and implants would soon be auctioned off to some sicko who's into that kind of stuff. Although this is more of a brief of my impressions during my time with the game, I did beat it in 2, 3, or 4 hour sessions. While starving for a cyberpunk fix for well over a year, this game had been popping on and off my sales radar. I knew it would be a linear, narrative-driven experience, but it should still scratch my itch for my love of tech and unavoidable trouble, right? And it did. But to liken it more to a cyber-noir shooting gallery with competent stealth elements would best serve to temper expectation. While most characters' lines have a solid delivery, the main character sounds as if he honed his gruffy chops at Keanu Reeves' acting academy.
I was alone, exhausted, and I was taking my last steps without even knowing if I wanted to. Did I ever really have a choice? On a path that seemed to have no direction, the hands of the holographic clock were about to complete their round, and so was I.
His delivery, coupled with his narration, is what led me to call this genre bro noir. I don't know what to do with this phrase now, so take it. It's yours. My gift to you. Please keep in mind that this game is by an indie team, Antab Studio, whose only other game on Steam is gritty retro enhanced, an intense arcade-style cyberpunk hack and shoot 'em up with incredible soundtrack, procedurally generated elements, and electric visuals. Looks neat and sounds great, just like Foreclosed, so I might check it out. As evident by every frame of this game, they had no problem settling on a gorgeous cyberpunk aesthetic which carries the common neon tropes one is to expect, along with a few retro callbacks to the real-life eras which inspired the genre. Of course, there's some sweet, synthetic, arpeggiating, cyberpunky scales that are a must for the genre. No debate, arpeggiating scales are a must, and that's fine. According to the devs' blog post, Hitting the Right Note, which is on their Steam page, the game's main score and accompanying tracks are by, quote, a great composer from Naples, Luigi, end quote. It's always nice to learn something new about my favorite Mario brother. Foreclosed is not an open world game, and the game does a good job of explaining in canon why a holographic wall impeding your wandering path keeps springing up where the developers don't want you to go. It's because you are lacking the privileges afforded to you by the blockchain to traverse through the entire city. And I'm fine with that. I genuinely thought I was going to play the game for the first time for maybe an hour, then go to bed. Instead, I played for almost 4. I did die a few times. There was just something about the almost light callback to Winback and Metal Gear that made me want to keep playing. Stealth is rarely forced, and when it is manageable. Except for one of the later drone sentry segments, which I just wanted to end. When stealth is broken, all enemies immediately know your location, which can be explained by all the enemies all being neuralinked to one another in order to more efficiently communicate. But I'm not sure if it's actually explained somewhere in the game. This is my headcanon for their muted synchronization. When the bullets begin to fly, you'll regret not firing up the game in story mode, as the harder difficulty seemingly only adds bullet sponginess to the enemies, and maybe more baddies, I'm not exactly sure. The AI is pretty simple, and I thought it'd be a factor into the story and some kind of plot twist, but that was just me maybe coping. Maybe it took place in my brain the entire time. You know, kind of how like when you can't punch in your dreams or you just walk into bullets. I get shot at a lot in my dreams. As time went on, the game felt more and more like a shooting gallery, or an old arcade shooter, just with a little more agency. Like Area 51, but with the ability to cast from a small selection of inexplicable tech-based spells. Lift, slam, and imprison. Disclaimer, skill names may not be accurate. Skills you'll need in the harder difficulty to help you buy time from the barrage of well-placed shots. Many of the combat scenarios involved me locking an enemy, lifting another, and shooting the third to weaken them, before the previous two skills reset, and then I'd recast them before eventually finishing off the wave. And there are a few more skills to choose from, and the game does let you mix and match as you level up. Also, be thankful for lock-on, because the game's camera feels a little very floaty, and it tends to overswing when using the controller due to maybe controller lag. Thankfully, looking towards an enemy, then aiming, seems to pretty liberally lock you onto the right target in the heat of battle. Also, to help thin the herd while you fumble at first with the aiming, there are a few environmental traps that help easily clear the board. All you have to do is look towards them and press the corresponding directional pad sequence, and you'll see the exploding thing happen a la Helldivers. I mostly enjoyed my time with Foreclosed. The allegories and allusions to modern times were a little heavy-handed, but what's a cyberpunk story without some kind of blunt social commentary? I didn't feel the story choices mattered as much to the game as they should to me, the player, but I wasn't really invested to begin with. I was just kind of enjoying the ride and oohing and ahhing at the visual flair. I had fun with this arcadey shooting gallery. I really enjoyed looking at the graphically simple yet unique world, and dug the interwoven comic book-like presentation. I'm hoping to see more narrative-driven action from Antab Studio in the coming years, and hope you enjoy your time with it should you decide to give it a go. This is more of an impression that morphed into a soft review because I beat it so fast. I do feel reviews should go a little more in depth, but hopefully this helps someone decide on whether or not to pick up a copy for themselves. I feel $10 is the sweet spot for picking this game up, especially if you're on the fence. Thanks again for your time and for popping in and checking out the video. Likes, subs, comments, they're all greatly appreciated. I'm at SlyFunkyMonk on Twitch and on Twitter, so feel free to pop over and watch me make a complete fool of myself. I'm also one of the voice actors on Awful Neutral, a Dungeons & Dragons debacle, and a co-host of the Haha Kill Me podcast. It's a mental health / funny thing. Give it a go. You'll see some of the episodes posted on YouTube soon enough. Be well and game on.